Let's get to the governor's budget. She ran on the campaign of Fix a Damn Roads. We all know that slogan. Has it happened? Many would say no. What about the budget? We were just saying the other day, the proposed budget. Where's the roads? And well, then, that very afternoon, we started to find out. Joining us now to get his take on this is the executive director of MITA. That's the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association. This is one of these trade associations, and I guess you'd say advocacy groups. I suppose they representative like heavy construction companies, that kind of thing, suppliers. And we'll get his take on it. His name's Rob Coppersmith. Rob, we've never spoken, but it's interesting you come on with the name of Coppersmith right after we were talking about pennies a little while ago. How you doing? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I think we know what your ancestors did, but you know.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to figure out. Most people like to incorrectly call me Coppersmith, so it's a good start.
Hey, see, at least I got it right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the governor's budget. I want to ask you about the governor's budget real quick. Now, you represent construction companies, their interests, heavy construction, that kind of thing. When is it just a money thing? Is it where the money goes? You can throw all kinds of money at it, but you got to spend it the right way. What's your take on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been underfunding our system for decades, so we've clearly dug pardon the pun, a deep hole for Michigan when it comes to infrastructure. So, in all types of it, to be quite honest. So the fact that our leadership in Lansing, whether it be Matt Hall's program or the governor's program, is finally recognizing that we really need to do something about it and do it now.
Yeah.
So we have two competing programs out there, and they're both trying to raise similar amounts of revenue, a little over $3 billion each, to help us get away from what we call bonding cycles, and that's what we've been doing in Michigan for the last couple decades. Is just simply using the state's credit card to try to limp us along when we really need to do this right and to do this cost effectively. We really need to have some long-term strategic planning that can take place based on having stable funding for this issue.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as a motorist and a consumer of the roadway, I see construction everywhere, especially in that season. But nothing ever seems to get. How come I always see the orange barrels, but nothing ever seems to be fixed? There's still. Is it that bad?
Yeah, so I think that's you're making my point. We are in crisis mode. I think, the state's, the governor's bonding program that's drying up could only be spent on trunk line roads. So that means the local roads have suffered through this process. And to be quite honest, MDOT had to pick the most serious safety hazard type roads to fix. So those are high congestion areas that tend to annoy and exacerbate driver frustration. But literally, we have to focus on roads that are potentially high hazard for the traveling public. So I think that's why you feel that pain. As time goes on and we're able to address and spread out and do this a little more methodically, I think that you won't feel that nearly the amount of exacerbation about waiting in traffic.
Well, we now have Governor Whitmer's proposal, Matt Hall's proposal. You folks at the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association, have you had a chance to look at both in detail and digest, or is that a process now? And I mean, what do you think of both proposals?
Well,
or you're just happy there are some?
Yeah, Yeah, probably the latter. We're just happy there are some that leadership in Lansing has recognized that this problem isn't going away, and it's only going to get worse if we continue to ignore it. And to us, the proposals are similar in what they're trying to raise in revenue. So, how the governor and the legislature get to that number, is up to them. We're just happy that it's being discussed and that it's of interest, and it certainly would be good for the state of Michigan in a number of different ways if we could get stable funding for essentially what is our economic engine.
Oh, give me because I have no idea. I'm sure it's expensive, but let's take your typical state road, potholes, deterioration, what have you, and stripping it down, where you scrape off the stuff and you get down and then you start over. What's a 1 mile cost? Boy, there's a broad question.
Yeah, I hesitate to answer that question because it really depends on the road. If we're, putting 8 inches of concrete over it because it's a major highway, if we're doing 2 inches of asphalt because it's a county road, that type of thing. So that would be a wide range, and I wouldn't want to mislead anybody by saying this is X, Y, or Z.
And the road construction has changed, as everything has. We were just talking about fire equipment and a little while ago. Technology has changed. Don't you do things like you recycle a lot of the old pavement, grind it up, and use it? And then isn't there like some? I was told this once. There's a technology where you grind up rubber tires and recycle those and stick those in there.
Yeah, I think our industry's done a great job with a lot of technology. Even just the quality of building roads is getting better due to GPS advancements. And yes, there is a ton of recycling, whether it be concrete or asphalt. And there's always a continual improvement in looking for ways to recycle other materials into our industry. So that's ongoing. It has been ongoing. That works in conjunction with the federal government, and we're always looking for a better way to produce a more cost-effective product for the state.
And use that money that they're about ready to spend on infrastructure. Was it 3.9 billion, I think?
3.9 billion is the public sector consultants report that suggests that's what our current shortfall is annually. The two proposals that are out there are just a little north of $3 billion each. So we'd say it's a big step in the right direction. It may not solve all of our problems, but it certainly will put us on a path to trying to get our roads 80% good and fair, which is, we're not even close to right now.
Yeah. Rob, have you been asked, or any of your people been asked, consulted on this, Michigan Infrastructure Transportation Association? I mean, have you been asked to come to the State House and talk about this at all?
Certainly, we are involved in the transportation issues downtown. We have a full-time lobbyist, Lance, and we like to provide information about what's happening across the country and how other states are grappling with this. We are not alone in this issue. So there's a lot of ways to generate income, and we have to find what's palatable to our legislature, our governor, and ultimately to the citizens of the state of Michigan. Because it's been neglected for so long, and it's I've said we are the grandchildren on this issue. So we have inherited a lot of decades of what I would just kind of call putting your head in the sand and ignoring the problem. So here we are. We need to do something about it.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the truck drivers? I know that the latest, was it the statement or something? Governor Whitmer was saying that, truck drivers, those companies need to pay, quote, their fair share. because of the heavy trucks and they work over the roads and stuff. But every time I hear that, I think, well, what is their fair share? Because I'm sure their idea of their fair share versus ours is completely different. Have you had a chance to talk to any of these cats?
I have not on that. This is a pretty new proposal.
Yeah.
So, what's fair and equitable to one person is often not even close to another. So that's why we elect officials, to try to get through that quagmire and see what is the best solution for our state as a whole.
The Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association. This is a trade organization. Go to thinkmita.org, thinkmita.org. You can see what they're about and see my buddy Rob Coppersmith. I just like saying your name, to be honest with you. Hey, Rob, we're up on time. I got to let you go, man, but let's stay in touch on this, all right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
And I want to come and drive a dump truck sometime. Can you make that happen for me?
I certainly can make that happen.
I got a hard hat. All right, Rob, have a great day. Thanks a lot.
All right, you take care.
See ya. 1320 WILS, Mike Austin back in just a flash.